huge round of applause. Please welcome up on stage Benoît from Malt. Yeah.
Hi everyone. I'm very, very happy to be here and talk about something a bit new for you maybe, or it's not something we used to talk about. It's about people management. Okay? So we are going to talk about what is an engineering manager and how we at Malt hired engineering managers. The first question is, what is a good software engineer? That's one of the first questions I ask to candidates when hiring engineering managers. Most of the time they get surprised by the question and they are not prepared to this question. And this question is a bit difficult somehow because, you know, good is not a very good word. It's not really meaningful, right? So if they are getting stuck, you know, I try to help them and say, and rephrase a bit the question and say, what do you expect as manager of a successful software engineer? Okay, and this applies to data scientists. This applies to many different, you know, types of software engineers. Okay, so candidates at this step, they said, you know, they refer back to the basics, I would say. You know, to go back to the safe situation and say, okay, let's talk about tech. Let's talk about hard skills. You know, their ability to deliver code, their ability to go fast and so on. The ability to learn new languages, to learn new frameworks. Good. Okay, that's the starting point. And, you know, I try to get more information. So they refer to soft skills, you know, the ability to communicate, the ability to work as a team and so on. That's good answers, you know, I'm happy to have those answers. Then I ask a second question, on what is an excellent software engineer? So the guys that, you know, gave me everything at the first step, they are a bit stuck. And I really would like to have, you know, good feedback also at that point. So I try to help them again and say, you know, guys, think about the best software engineer you ever met, the best software engineer you ever, you know, collaborated with. What made the difference, you know? And so people, you know, they start, some of them continue talking about soft skills, about communication, about all of that. Others, you know, they start talking about value they bring, you know, value that software engineers can bring. They start talking about business. They start talking about many different things. And I'm really happy to have those kind of answers. And finally, the last question of this series of questions I ask usually is, as an engineering manager, how do you make a good software engineer become an excellent software engineer? And that's really the purpose of this talk this morning. So my name is Benoît Guillon, and I'm VP Engineering at Malt. For those who don't know Malt, we are a marketplace that helps companies find the best freelancers to work with. So we do not, on our side, work only with freelancers to build Malt, and we have a real engineering team with permanent contracts. But even though, you know, we bring the opportunities to freelancers to find also on their side the best clients to work with. So it's a power of choice. Okay, so we are very proud to have, you know, two major strengths at Malt. The first one is the community of freelancers that we built so far. So we are close to reach 400,000 freelancers connected in Malt. And so it's huge already. And we are operating now all across Europe. Okay? Our second big strength is our product. So we are a tech company. We built a product from the beginning of Malt. Okay? And today, you know, our product, our website, and all these features is really a key differentiator for us. Because, you know, we managed to remove all the frictions that could exist between, you know, a freelancer and a customer when they're trying to work together. So about contracting, about payment, about, you know, all the things that may retain you as an employee to become a day a freelancer. Because, you know, you may imagine, how can I get my next client? How do I manage payments and so on? And so really, you know, that's what we're trying to do. So we are an ambitious company as well, and we're aiming at, you know, having 1 billion euro of projects running through the marketplace by 2024. We are proud to be part of the next 40 list of companies this year, and so it's really amazing. I joined myself like 2 years ago and a half. three months before the COVID crisis. I think I chose the right moment to join the company. And at this step, you know, Malt was, I would say that freelancing was already a big trend, okay? During the last 10 years, the 10 years before I came, freelancing, you know, already doubled in France. So it was already a big trend. And so no, this COVID crisis really changed something in the way, you know, we perceive ourselves, you know, the relationship we have with employment, the relationship we have with our company, you know, because we mixed up everything. We mixed up life, the work life, family life, everything together. And so we wanted to have more flexibility somehow at this point. And we were looking for freedom and choice, okay? And so, you know, very early, back in 2021, we hit a big record at Malt because more than 90,000 new freelancers signed up during 1 year in the platform. And that it was really, really amazing. And it showed up, you know, how COVID also changed a bit the way we perceive freelancing now and how many people, you know, have in mind to become freelancer. And meanwhile, you know, companies also change on that because companies, they also figured out that, you know, an hybrid mode can work, okay? And so, you know, the way also they perceive the relationship with employees and with contractors can change also. So to give you a bit of perspective, and it's a study that tells that by 2027, about half of workers in the US will be independent workers, okay? So that's where we are today. So given all of that, you know, back early 2021, the CTO of Malt and co-founder Hugo came and see me and say, you know what, Benoît, get ready to scale because our business is scaling and we will scale. So the plan was clear. You know, we are a tech company based on big product. So we will double our revenues in 1 year. We will double it again the next year. That's our business plan. We will double the team as well for the first year, and you will have to double it again the year after. So it was a big challenge, really, and so, you know, I got ready about that. So the first thing is that, you know, what does that mean? You know, scaling a team. It's really easy. It's mathematical. You know, it's just arithmetic. You have to retain people, as Liam mentioned. You know, it's one of the challenge. Retain people and hire new people. Yeah, it's quite easy, by the way. So here is an example. You know, okay, I'll take one example. So you have one team of 5 engineers, okay, they are good, you chose them, they are at a different level of expertise, okay, but you rely on some of them, you know, that to be, I would say, like good leaders, okay, people that take the ownership on the product they're working on, okay, and so you say, no, I will try to scale this team, so let's start hiring new people, okay, so you choose the best, and you make them, you know, onboard into your team, ramp up and so on, so that at the end you reach a certain size that you feel comfortable with and you can split the team in 2 teams, okay? And so, done, easy. But the thing is that, you know, meanwhile something changed also there. The thing that changed is that, you know, people, they level up, okay? You add 1 leader and you need 2 leaders now, okay? And so you need to grow people also as you scale. And so, you know, the simple equation becomes a bit more complex because now you have to retain, hire, and grow people. And I also noticed, and I think that's key, keep it simple and keep going fast. Okay, so that's also the magic of scaling. So, to be honest, I think that it's a full-time job to do that. To retain, to hire, to grow people, and just focus on that is still a full-time job. And that's the role of engineering managers. So what we did is that, you know, because we are tech guys, so we just can, you know, we cannot work without building frameworks. So we built a framework to do that, to retain, to hire, and to grow people. And that's the career path we built. So we didn't, you know, invent things, you know, we reuse, we are engineers, so we reuse the things that work well. And so the thing that worked well is to have a scalable career path that, you know, brings the opportunity for people who want to focus on management to really focus on management. So which means having an engineering management track for engineering managers. And meanwhile, you know, have also a dedicated track for people that want to grow, but don't want to be people manager. Okay, we don't want to put people management, as a must to let good engineers grow and become excellent engineers. So that's really key. And also we want to value, I talk about money a bit. We want to value excellent engineers as we value excellent managers. I think that's really important. And so to illustrate that, we also position the role of CTO at the top of engineering leadership, okay? Not only people manager, inspiring leaders, okay? So this scalable career path, we set it up, and the thing is that, this slide doesn't, okay, anyway. We set up, and the big part of it is really to define all the expectations you will have at different levels for different engineers, and it takes a lot of time and it's a complex work. But at the end, if you have a look to how it works somehow, you can have, I would say, 3 layers, okay? The first one for beginners or intermediate people, intermediate experienced people, they will, focus on output, on their ability to deliver features, on their ability to become somehow maybe a bit predictable, to make good estimates. But, they will focus on the how to do things, okay? While when you are getting, more experience and you become to be a senior software engineer, you will start being a good partner with product management, and you will start, focusing more on the outcome. So on the value that you as an engineer create for the end users, okay? So and the other step, the step above is really, to be aware of why we do that. And we do that for the sake of our company, for its growth. And so it's to be aware of business, the business of your company, and how, as an engineer, you can contribute to the success of your company. And really, the role of an engineering manager is to be able to adapt your management style at those different levels, and to be able to work, with more or less experienced developers on their output, to be able to work with senior developers on the outcome that they produce, and on tech leaders to also work on the impact they have on the company. So as engineering managers, really, your role is to maximize the impact of your team over the long term. This one is really, really important as well. So my takeaway for engineering managers, and I hope I have engineering managers here in the room, it's to empower your team, okay? So it means being able to adapt your style, your management style, to the different situations we saw previously, okay? And be able to, use empathy to really analyze situation and behave differently depending on the situation. That's something that when we hired engineering manager, we tested a lot, the ability to identify how should they behave. The second thing is that, and it's really obvious, but it's something that we saw a lot, unfortunately, please value outcome over output, Do not manage story points, please. Do not manage useless deadlines. Just manage, the value that your team will create, and also the value that the impact that this value will have for the business of your company. And also, we are always, I think that, we created somehow, or sometimes we tend to create Chinese walls around our teams to protect them from disturbance, okay? And my word to engineering manager is more, bring the 360 degrees vision of the company to your teams. And last but not least, my main takeaway for you as CTOs and VPs and head of engineering is do not put people management, on the path of becoming an excellent software engineer. You know, the ultimate evolution of a software engineer is not people management, that's clear. In people managers, you know, they are key to scale. So, you know, hire them with caution and, you know, be very, very, very selective in your hiring. And also, you know, create, as a CTO, I think that's your mission, to really create an healthy and demanding but transparent management culture in your teams. Thank you.